from Sky Sports on Oleksandr Usyk. This is from Oleksandr Usyk's team. They've stated that the current undisputed world heavyweight champion has earned the right to choose his own future after his recent win over Daniel Dubois. Director of Team Usyk, Shiri Lapin, apologies if I'm butchering that name, says Oleksandr Usyk has taken time to heal from injuries. With Joseph Parker orders that it will be on mandatory, Lapin insists Usyk has earned the right to rest before deciding upon the next chapter of his career. That has led a lot of people to believe that Oleksandr Usyk should keep that WBO title and essentially should be allowed to decide at his own time what he wants to do. Now, the problem with that is, I seen a clip, I think it was from Boxing News, of a brief interview. Well, I say a brief interview, it was a snippet of an interview that Frank Warren gave. And he touched on some good points. He did, right? He mentioned the fact that Joseph Parker is the interim champion. He's also the mandatory, right? That mandatory has been kicked the can down the road for a long time now. He's next, okay? Whether you think it should be Kawhi or not, whatever, it's Joseph Parker next. He's next in line, okay? The purse bids were meant to be, well, they had 30 days to negotiate from July the 24th, which will be up, I think, on Friday. I think Friday is the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is, anyway. I think it is, because Notting Hill Carnival is on this weekend. I'd love to go, but I'm stuck here. So I think that was the original date. And apparently they're on about pushing that back. And Frank was saying that the issue with that is, and he's, again, whether you like Frank Warren or not, he makes some good points with this. He does. He's saying that basically Joe Parker, that leaves him in limbo for a further month. He wants to get Joseph Parker out as quick as he can because Joseph Parker has his brother's wedding on October the 25th, and he doesn't want those days to collide because they want to get him out. And if you think about it like this, Joseph Parker fought in February of this year. He fought Martin Bacoli, who took the fight in 24 hours notice. I mean, we already know about that, no need to go into it. Went 2 rounds, and then prior to that, it was, as near as makes no difference, a year, give or take a couple of weeks, was his previous fight. It's causing Joseph Parker inactivity. So I love Oleksandr Usyk. He's been a model champion. He's been brilliant for the sport of boxing. But this is now starting to have an impact, not just on the heavyweight division as itself. Well, it is having an impact on the heavyweight division, but it'll have an impact on other fighters, right? Joseph Parker needs to be active. Joseph Parker can't just sit around waiting, twiddling his thumbs, waiting for the call to say, you're fighting Oleksandr Usyk, when he could be out there doing something else. He could be going and arranging to go to his brother's wedding. He could be arranging a fight, even if it's just a takeover fight. You get what I mean? Now you're in a position where you're actually holding up not just the division, but the other fighters around you. And I don't like that. For me, as good a champion as Oleksandr Usyk has been, and he has been a model champion, he's been the champion that we want. He's gone to people's backyards. He's never ducked anyone. He's looked for the first available opportunity to unify. Boom, he's done it. Whether it was a heavyweight or cruiserweight, that's what he did. He wanted to fight the best at the time. He did that at cruiserweight, even when there was even when he cleaned it out with the World Boxing Super Series. He fought Bellew before going to heavyweight. He's done what he's needed to do. 2-time undisputed. I cannot sing his praises enough. First ballot Hall of Famer. But if you make that rule for Usyk, then you have to do it for others as well. And as far as I'm concerned, if you've got a mandatory system in place, whether it's with the WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF, those are the 4. If there's one in place and these are the rules, right? I understand stupid rules, silly rules that don't make any sense. I understand not following them. Because if a rule is just stupid, F it. Seriously, if a rule is just absolutely stupid, rules are made to be broken. But these rules right here, where it's like, this guy has earned his right, he wants to fight, he's earned a crack at this title next, and he's been out of the ring, it's holding him up. I would say get a move on. You either make your decision, you either say, yes, I'm going to fight Joseph Parker next. Although the Saudis don't seem keen on it, so what? You can open that up for purse bids. Someone else can bid for it. The Saudis are saying they're not keen now. Who's to say that won't change in a couple of weeks' time or a couple of months' time? So for me, I say let Joseph Parker get his crack. If you really aren't keen on fighting him, vacate that title. You see, there was no issue vacating it wasn't this time last year. It was probably June last year. It was probably June time last year when it was apparent that the IBF mandatory was coming. It was being called. All right, there you go. And obviously he was tied into the Fury rematch, so maybe that is slightly different. But now you've got no obstacles in place. I do think he needs to make a decision sooner rather than later, for the reason that Frank outlined, where you're holding Joseph Parker up now. it could be a case of, okay, you need until say March next year. Let me know now so I can have an in-between fight. So I can arrange a date in October that I can fight whoever, Derek Chisora, hypothetically speaking. I can get that fight, I can get those rounds in, so I'm not sitting around idle for another year. Because if Oleksandr Usyk does intend to fight Joseph Parker next, which I'd love to see it do, right? Well, personally for me, I'd like him to retire. I think that there's no point sticking around. But say he decides to fight Joseph Parker next year. He's injured. He's just had his fight in July, so he's not ready to go until say February next year. That's fine, right? But you've now held the guy out of the ring for a year. And I just don't think that's right. And the longer you leave it, and say you leave, right, you say it now, I need till February next year. Fine, Parker can have a fight in the interim. You leave it, you kick that can down the road, and then you say it in October, fight in February. Well, he's just missed out then on an enormous stretch of time where he could have been fighting. So I don't agree with this. I don't agree that Usyk should have special exemptions. Because if you do it for him, you'll have to do it for others then as well. And I think you need to set a precedence as a sanctioning body in general that your mandatories are adhered to. I know it's not all Usyk's fault. Some of it is. You've had the Fury fight. Obviously, there was a rematch clause. That is what that is. There was always going to be that. The Joshua fight, there should not have been a rematch clause. It was a mandatory. Usyk shouldn't have signed it, I don't think. He did, and that's the way it is. He fought Daniel Dubois. That was undisputed, fair enough. But now there's nothing in the way. There's no rematches holding it up. So let's get a move on with this. Because what I don't want is for Usyk to hold on to those titles, let someone like a Tyson Fury or a Moses Atauma jump the queue. Because I know Turkey is mentioning Moses Atauma. As far as I'm concerned, I love Moses Atauma. It's too soon for him, in my opinion, but he shouldn't be jumping the queue. I mean, it's Joseph Parker, then it's Adja Kabayel. It's just, they've earned their shot, they're mandatories. Let them have them. And if you're not going to let them have them, give them the belts, vacate them, see you later, bye, done. That's it. So that's how I think it should be. So Team Usyk saying that, Usyk has the right to decide and this, that, and the other. He's the right to decide what he wants to do, of course. Everyone has that right. But I don't think you should be holding the division up, and I don't think you should be holding the career of Joseph Parker up at the same time. I think Frank's right with that. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on that one. Hope you enjoyed it as always, people. If you could, hit the like button, subscribe, of course, if you haven't done so already. Until next time, peace.